Now it's time for the Pirelli National Superstock Thousands. Adam Jenkinson has a comfortable 20-point lead at the top of the championship, after finishing first and second. Can he extend that lead here? I'm going to find out with Jack Burnicle in the commentary box.
Well, it's Adam Jenkinson who clearly leads the way in the championship standings on 45 points ahead of David Johnson on 25. Look at that Kawasaki block out of the top 6. Steve Brogan, former champion, is on 22 in 3rd place. Joel Burns on 21 in 4th. Philip Backlund, the Swede, is on 20 points in 5th, level with Peter Ward. Lee Jackson, 1 point behind in 7th. Little Lee Bob, the reigning 600 champ, ahead of John McGuinness, TT legend, Dan Johnson and Jonathan Howarth. The starting grid for Oulton Park looks like this. Hudson Kenner on pole position, ahead of Philip Backlund. So impressive at Brands Hatch, but not so much at Thruxton. Victor Cox is 3rd, where he was in the championship last year. Joel Burns 4th. The second row of the grid is headed up by Adam Jenkinson on the SMT Racing Kawasaki, the championship leader, ahead of Lee Jackson, James East and Danny Johnson. The third row of the grid, David Johnson, John McGuinness, Josh Day and Jimmy Storer. And the fourth row of the grid, Steve Brogan, his new private team, Marshall Neal, Josh Wainwright and Tommy Aquino. Oh, a long hold there on the lights. Hudson Kenner has a bob off the line, gets the front wheel airborne as he heads down towards turn 1 and looks to have steered his way to the front. He does. Good start then, clean start for Hudson Kenner as he leads the way down low. For a moment there, I thought someone lost the left foot peg on the way down the avenue. I didn't know whether it was Kenner. I think it was, and it cost him a couple of places going down the hill into Cascades. So after a bright start into and through turn 1, just a bit of a mistake on the downhill. No, Kenner is still there. It's the Kawasaki that's run to the front, and I think it might be Victor Cox ahead of Kenner. Joel Burns, Philip Backlund, the Swede, leads the second wave ahead of championship leader Jenkinson. McGuinness in 6th. A good start for John McGuinness. 7th for Dan Johnson ahead of Josh Day and little Lee Jackson. These are the fellas running at the front, and that 3 straight away putting air between themselves and the pursuing pack.
Yeah, the Kawasaki's so strong in this class. I mean, we've got a BMW in there, 1 BMW, 1 Honda in the top 10, all the rest are Kawasaki's, and the Honda's giving away about 25 brake horsepower, so you know, you really want to be on a Kawasaki and a BMW, really.
So the Kawasaki leads the way at the moment. The one in the familiar Kawasaki in colours, in black and green, is leading away up the hill. And then the unfamiliar Kawasaki colours of the red and white there of Hudson Kenner. And then the equally unfamiliar Kawasaki colours of Joel Burns in white and blue, running in 3rd place. As they go round Druids and gallop under the Black Horse on the overpass down towards... breaking out of Hudson's just developed. He's developing the old Valentino Rossi drop the leg.
Yeah, it's coming through, here. Jack. You know, it's coming through.
Filtering down to Superstock 1000 cc's.
Oh, we got to fall down. Is that?
So going in, that's...
Oh, that's coming out of Island. That's Island Bend just before Shell, I think.
So can this be the final turnaround for Victor Cox, and can the tall, amiable man from the southwest actually turn in a victory here at Oulton Park? He's on the 11th lap of 15. He's led from the start. Yeah, and he's doing everything right at the moment. That's all he can do. Just keep doing it, popping those times. He's been ever so consistent. And again, his last lap was a 39.5. His best lap's been a 39.4, and they've all been within a couple of tenths. He's got a really, as I say, you know, he's found a really nice patch in his riding here. Oh, someone's down. That's not Hudson. No, sorry. No, it's BMW. It's a BMW. Oh, is it Lee Jackson? Yes, it is. It's Jackson. I think little Lee Jackson must have been just pressing on a bit too hard, trying... Oh! Whoops-a-daisy. Yes, it is Lee Jackson, the reigning 600 Superstock champion, the little Lincolnshireman trying to get to grips with the 1000cc BMW, but it's pitched him off this time. So that all the time, though, this bunch closing down on this man, Josh Day. The 600cc Superstock champion by 1 point from Luke Stapleford in a dramatic finish here at Oulton Park in 2010. Oh, Dan Johnson sides his way past Jenkinson just when Jenkinson thought he had an eye line there for the fading Josh Day. He gets pounced on by the Berkshireman. That was a great move by Johnson, really smooth, neat. He hit his mark, kept it on line, and you can see Josh Day there now in 5th. He's in the top 6, so Daniel Johnson, number 86 on the Four Angels Kawasaki, doing a good job. At the front, Victor Cox, the big, tall, strapping I think it's Wiltshireman, leads the way. This is the battle closing down now for 4th place. Beg your pardon, for 5th place. Forgetting Philip Backlund, who's having an excellent ride in 4th place. Cox, Kenner, Burns, Backlund, and then Josh Day, Johnson, Jenkinson, Neal across the line. And Johnson now pulling away from Adam Jenkinson, beginning to exert pressure on Josh Day. Yeah,
and with just 2 laps to go, Cox has stretched that lead to about half a second. So again, each lap he's just taken another 10, so it's a really good ride.
You're right about his amazing consistency, James. Look, 39.48 is best. That lap was a 39.69.
Yeah.
And all the time he's just a whisker quicker than the lads behind him.
And if you're a youngster looking at, you know, how you go about winning races, this is a lovely example, because he's just found his rhythm and he's just banged in those laps. He's just looked really gorgeous. Every mark he's hit, he hasn't been running wide, he hasn't been making mistakes. You know, he's just been he's just found it. He's in it, and this is what you try and do on a motorcycle. Get that rhythm, hit your marks, and just keep pushing them, keep pushing those, taking those tenths out of them.
Hudson Kenner is now trying to go with him on the penultimate lap. The South African, based very close to Neil Mackenzie's family in Ashby de la Zouch in the Midlands, is just trying to get him close enough to exert a bit of pressure on Victor Cox, and he's dropped Joe Burns.
They have. Just this lap, Joe Burns has just got it. He's got a good 3rd spot. You know, as long as he doesn't do anything silly, Joe Burns has definitely got 3rd, but it looks like these two have just dropped it. And I think Hudson Kenner's still looks like he's going to have a go. He's not quite close enough, but he still looks like he's hungry for it. Whereas Joe Burns, I think, looks a bit more settled.
Here comes Dan Johnson. Big effort inside Josh Day as they drop down to Lodge Corner. He moves through, drops down Deer Lead into an excellent 5th place. So Cox, Kenner, Burns, Backlund cross the line. Then it's Johnson, and here's Marshall Neal having retaken Adam Jenkinson. Marshall Neal back in the fray on the Wilson Craig Honda. He punched Josh Day a further place back.
Yeah, that's Dan Johnson doing a lovely job there, number 86, up to 5th spot. So that's that's his best ride of the year by far. And here's back at the front. There's Victor Cox, the leader. Then it's Hudson Kenner. Then it's Joe Burns. Then it's Philip Backlund. 1, 2, 3. And well, Burns looks like he's picked it back up a fraction on this lap. Looks too much though to close in, when you say, Jack.
It does. Victor Cox from Trowbridge on the ILR Kawasaki. 2nd place for Hudson Kenner from Ashby de la Zouch on the Homer Racing Ionic Balance Lynxel Kawasaki. Let's get them all out of the way. Joe Burns from Newcastle on Tyne on the JG Speedfit Kawasaki. They are running 1, 2, 3. 4th place, splendid ride by number 49, Philip Backlund, the Swede, on the 2nd of the ILR Kawasaki's. 1st and 4th for Ian Locker's team is pretty impressive. And Victor Cox looks as if he might be headed for his 1st ever victory in his 6th season in Superstock 1000.
The one thing he's got to be careful of is the last turn, okay? We've seen so many manoeuvre changes here.
That's right, and particularly involving Hudson Kenner, who got dramatically passed around the outside by Glenn Richards in a super sport race here. But he looks like he's not going to be close enough to launch any kind of assault here. Oh, and Victor Cox, later than usual on the brakes, weaves his way into the final turn, but he's okay, he's hung on to it. He's going to take his 1st victory here in the 27-year-old from Trowbridge in Wiltshire. Victor Cox finally achieves victory in a Superstock 1000 National Championship race in splendid style, leads it from flag to flag. Victor Cox, after 15 laps by 0.3 of a second from Hudson Kenner in 2nd and Joe Burns in 3rd place, with an excellent ride from the Swede Philip Backlund in 4th. He's finished 2nd here twice before, for the first time on top of the rostrum with that splendid win. 25 minutes of high-octane action. Hudson Kenner finishes 2nd, Joe Burns 3rd, Philip Backlund in 4th place, Dan Johnson 5th, Marshall Neal not on a Kawasaki, he's on a Whitford Craig Honda, we think, is 6th, ahead of Josh Day, Adam Jenkinson, James East and David Johnson. And the standings in the championship will certainly have been knocked about a bit. And indeed, on 53 points, Adam Jenkinson has his lead slashed from 20 to 14. Victor Cox leapfrogs into 2nd place ahead of Joe Burns and Hudson Kenner. Philip Backlund moves 5th ahead of David Johnson, who drops from 2nd to 6th. Dan Johnson is now 7th. Steve Brogan slips to 8th. Peter Ward to 9th. John McGuinness is 10th.
3 races down and we have 1 more to go. We'll be back with the Motorstar Championship after the break.